Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are currently working on and work along as I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast. So before I jump in, if you could do a couple of things for me, hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. That helps me out a lot. Also, if you check out the description box below, you will find links to my Facebook page and my Facebook group. Would love to have you follow the page and join the group. And you can also follow me over on Instagram at diamondpaintinganonymous. Okay. This is my work in progress. As I said, this is one of my big 10. This is my Craftably koala. I know you guys have seen it for the last couple of WIPs, but I really am trying to work on this and get it done in between finishing other projects. So this is what I'm going to be working on today. I have finally made it over to part of the koala, and then hopefully I will get to some butterflies today, but we'll see how far I get. I've got my cat-proof tray ready to go. I've got my drills in my case. I've got a couple of pens. I've got my notes, a drink, my timer. I think I've got everything ready to go. So I'm going to shuffle things around a bit so I can zoom in on this section where I'm going to be working and you guys can see what I'm doing. So I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm going to start with number 7 here. And let's see how far I get. So I'm going to start out with a life update as usual. Health-wise, everybody's been healthy, knock on wood. Everybody's doing better, so that's good. My son and I have been still going for our daily walks, although they did get interrupted a bit this week because it rained one day and then it was just really, really cold one day. And I guess my son decided that sleeping in his warm bed sounded better than getting up to go walk outside. I think I've mentioned before, I don't try not to anyway wake him up if he has fallen asleep when we're supposed to go walk, because he suffers from insomnia. And so I don't ever want to pull him out of a sleep. He just has a lot of problems sleeping, and so I don't ever want to wake him up. So there was a day this week where it was kind of rainy and cold anyway, and I ended up walking on the elliptical, which is fine. We can walk indoors. It's not a big deal. So I did, and it was fine. And he got some much needed sleep, so it was all good. Let's see what else. My oldest came by this weekend. She called me and said she was having trouble with the brakes in her car. And we just got her rear brakes fixed a couple of months ago, actually. And her check engine light had come on, and there was like some sensor that had gone bad, and the rear brakes were not great. So we got her rear brakes fixed at that point. So she's comes in, and she went to the auto store, and they ran like their little diagnostic thing to tell her what code it was throwing for the check engine light, and she needed her front brakes done. So I had pulled the receipt and realized we got the rear brakes done last time. So I'm like, okay. And she's like, Mom, it's really bad. You can hear it. And I'm like, well, okay, bring it by so my husband can look at it. And so she did that, and my husband has tinnitus, however you pronounce it. And so sometimes if it's on a certain, tone, he can't hear it. And he went out and drove it, and he's like, oh no, I can hear it. It sounds like it's metal on metal. So he pulled everything apart. Yeah, she needs new brake pads. So he went to go get brake pads. And then once he heard the noise, said he was going to go get new brake pads. So he went and got those. Then he came home, pulled everything apart, and she needs new rotors too. So I had to go back to the auto store to get those. And The left one was pretty bad. When he pulled off the right front, the brake pad was down to bare metal and it was grinding away on the rotor. So it was no wonder she needed it replaced. And so I'm like, don't let it get that bad again. If it's making that horrendous of a noise, it's had to have been making noise for a while. Don't just ignore it. So, and the code that it was throwing, we actually had that same part replaced with that same code back in June, the end of June, when we had the brakes fixed. So I don't know why it's doing it again. So we'll see what happens. We're like, just drive it for this week, keep an eye on it. If it's still doing it, then you can come back next weekend and, you know, we'll see about taking it someplace and figuring out why it keeps throwing this code when that part has already been replaced. So, but my husband had a blast. He loves working on cars. So we were talking about, because my, gosh, where do I start with this? My dad owned a car, and it was his project car for the entire time. I mean, that car has been around as long as I can remember. And he was always tinkering with it. So when my dad passed away, my brother wanted it. But my dad, because it was a project car, it was completely torn apart. The seats weren't in it. The engine needs work. My dad was like in the process of reupholstering some things. He had other pieces that he was switching out, like the windshield. And my brother didn't really have anywhere to put it. And my brother doesn't have any real auto mechanic skills. He's never really worked on cars or anything. And my husband actually went to school for a couple of years to auto mechanic school before he decided he was going to be a lineman. But so, you know, I said, well, let us have it. We have a garage we can store it in, and we'll, you know, see if he can get it at least back to running, and then we'll give it to you and you can do what you want with it. Because my sister and I were afraid that my brother would sell it, and we just don't want anybody else outside the family to have it. And it's not that the car is really worth anything. It's just sentimental value. Fast forward to 10 years later, and my husband still hasn't done anything with the car. And I don't know if it is just overwhelm because so many things need to be done with it that he kind of doesn't know where to start. I don't know if it's that he likes having it just to have, I mean, it's a little 2-door convertible Fiat that my dad had forever. And anyway, so I just, you know, I'm like, do you just like the small projects like my daughter's, because he came in and he's like, oh, it was so fun. I love working on cars. And I'm like, but we've had this car sitting in our garage for 10 years that you've barely touched. So what gives? Because I don't know anything about cars either. So there's no way I could do anything with it. And my brother doesn't have anywhere to store it. So, you know, when we move, it's either he's going to have to sell it or he's going to have to pay to put it in like some kind of storage place. And so I don't know. But anyway, I just thought it was funny. And my husband's like, oh, I love doing this. Really? Because we've had a project car in the house for 10 years. And well, whatever. So I stopped at the preschool earlier this week. Went to go have lunch with my sister, and it was fun. I got to see a bunch of the kids again. I'd already subbed last week or the week before, but one of the little girls that I had in my class last year was not there that day, and so she was there, and I made a point of stopping to say hello to her and talking to her, and it was fun. And then I got to see a couple of the other kids, and it's, you know, Halloween weekend, so we were talking to them about what they were going to be for Halloween and, you know, what costumes they're going to dress up in and all that kind of stuff. And so it was fun. And then after all the kids left, they were cleaning up. They had all their Halloween parties and stuff this week because they don't have school on Halloween. Schools are closed that day, and so they don't have preschool either. And So then they're getting ready for next week is fire safety week. And we have it's actually something the firefighters built, I think, but they bring it over to the preschool every year so that we can use it. It's called Get Low and Go. And it's supposed to simulate, if you're sleeping in your bed, you have the kids lay on this little kind of bench box, and then it's like PVC pipe, and it's got, oh, here's smoke, and you have to crawl underneath the smoke, and then they have to touch the door with their hand to see if it's hot, and if it's hot, then you got to go out the window, and, where's your meeting place? Talk to your parents. You should have a meeting place, so if there ever is a fire, you all have some place that you can meet together, so you know that everybody's gotten out of the house. And got to check your smoke detectors, make sure they work, replace the batteries, all that kind of stuff. But it all fits in the box, and then you have to kind of assemble everything. And so I was helping them try to figure out how to assemble it, because I've never done it before, and neither had they. So it was kind of funny, all of us trying to figure out how all of this PVC goes together, even though it was color coded and stuff. It was like, well, but we have extra parts left. What are we doing wrong? So we eventually got it figured out. So it was fun. It was fun to see everyone and do all of that. Let's see what else. Oh, well, after getting out of the house and subbing a couple of times and then going out to see them, and I told my husband, my son and I need to get out of the house more often. I get out of the house on a pretty regular basis. I mean, we go out on our walks every day during the week. So Monday through Friday, we go on a walk. On the weekends, I go out because my husband and I go out and do stuff. But my son has just been a real homebody, especially since his classes are all online. And so I finally just decided, you know what, we're just gonna, twice a week, we're gonna go somewhere. I don't know where we're gonna go. And I'll let him pick a couple places, but we're gonna go. He needs to get out of the house, and if that means I got to take him someplace to do it, then that's okay. I figure probably, at least to start, one of the places we'll go will be grocery shopping, because my son always acts like he doesn't want to go, but as soon as we're in the store, there's a million things he wants. So, because when we shop online, you just don't get a look at stuff like you do when you go in the store. And so this way he can pick out some things that he might not think of while he's just looking at stuff online. And then I don't know where else we're going to go. I told my sister, I don't know if we're just going to go, go to a different place to take our walks instead of just walking up and down the road in front of our house. I don't know if, we're going to go to, I don't know. I don't know where we're going to go, but someplace that is not this house. And, I also said maybe I'll look into some, places we could volunteer or something, so that we could be doing something constructive with our time while we're out doing whatever it is. Because Lord knows we both have plenty of time. We could volunteer and do something like that. I just don't know what that looks like. But we'll see. I'm going to talk to him on Monday about the opportunities, and this is what we're going to do. So, figure out some places you'd like to go, whether that's just walking around a department store or a grocery store or whatever. I don't want to go out to eat all the time. I wouldn't mind doing that every once in a while, but I don't want to do it all the time. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll report back. Oh, and then when I was at the preschool, one of the kids I taught last year was there, and I was talking to her about what she was going to be for Halloween, and her mom was there, and they live in a different city, and they're looking to move. And I guess she'd heard from my sister that we were moving, and so she was asking me about our house and where it was at, and how many bedrooms, that kind of stuff. And she's like, as soon as you guys are ready to sell and put it on the market, tell me. So maybe selling our house won't be a huge deal like I thought it was going to be. Maybe we'll be able to sell it relatively quickly. I don't, and I told her, I said, I have no idea when that will be. we're waiting on the government of Canada to do whatever it is they're doing and let us know. So until, you know, we hear something from them, I don't really have a time frame. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it was nice to know at least, you know, maybe somebody was interested, assuming that they haven't, you know, figured out something different and gone a different direction in the meantime. So we'll see. Let's see. Oh, speaking of Canada, yesterday was my father-in-law's birthday. So he is, I think my husband said he's 86. He's been doing a lot better. They figured out the whole issue with his medication. And so now he's doing really well. They got rid of his double vision and yeah. Okay, so I think I'm going to do some M's, but my M's here have got my star because I have ABs of this color. So I'm going to use up these ABs. You know, I was thinking the other day, do I want to use these ABs on this project? And then I thought, you know, I buy these ABs so that I can use them. If I'm not going to use them, what did I buy them for? Crazy. Do you guys do that? I do that with games. It's like I buy these games or I'm playing games on my iPad or whatever. And it's like, oh, I've got this bonus. And then I end up hanging on these bonuses forever and ever and ever. And it's like, what good are they if I don't ever use them? Same way with my Diamond Art Club points, I guess. I very rarely use those. The one time I did, it was on accident. I didn't mean to. My husband was asking me questions and he was like, well, can you redeem points? And I was like, well, I think you go here and then you, oh no. I mean, it all worked out. I got diamond paintings for it, so it wasn't a complete bust, but yeah. Or maybe that's just me, that I don't understand how things work. And so I get myself into trouble that way. Let's see, whatever was I talking about? Oh, so father-in-law's 86. Because I asked my husband, he was having problems with double vision. And he's like, yeah, they finally sorted out his medication. So that seems to have cleared up. And I said, oh, well, so is he going to go golfing again? Because that was what he was doing with most of his day during retirement, was golfing. And my husband's brother lives with them now. And so I said, you know, are they going to go together? And, oh, they might. But he said, I don't think Dad will drive anymore. He's had enough issues that he doesn't think they'll let him continue to drive, which probably isn't a bad thing. But I know that's hard to lose that, you know, kind of sense of independence. And his mom has never driven. She doesn't even have a license. So, which coming from America, that seems so strange. I think because I've always, I was going to say I've always lived rurally, but that's not true. I grew up in a city, but I grew up in a city that doesn't really have good mass transit. And so if you wanted to get someplace, you needed a vehicle. And so the concept of not driving, although maybe that's a generational thing, like I couldn't wait to get my driver's license. My kids could care less. I mean, they drive and they both have their licenses, but as far as, you know, when I was a kid, ooh, I'm going to go here and here and here. Like I wasn't going to spend all my time at home. Nope. My kids were, home was just fine. I think because so much of their lives were online. So they, you know, if I wanted to see my friend, I had to go to my friend's house. That was the only way I got to see them. I couldn't just open a Zoom call and, you know, or FaceTime or all that kind of stuff. It's amazing to me sometimes to think how quickly things have changed in such a short time, even in my lifetime. You know, I look back on some of the stuff and like my sister was joking when I was talking to her. She said, yeah, her youngest came up to her and said, Mom, what's a CD? And she thought he was making fun of her, but no, he was completely serious. See, he'd heard someone talking about them somewhere and he didn't know what they were. So yeah, that kind of is crazy, but I guess that's what happens when you get old. What else? Oh, I'm still waiting for my kids to give me their Christmas lists, which is kind of annoying. Let's see. I'm going to do, what is this little symbol here? Let me find that. Where's that at? Here we go. Ooh, there's not very, I don't have hardly any drills of this color. We'll see how that goes. Still waiting for the kids to give me their Christmas list. My youngest, a Christmas/birthday list. He brings me a list with 2 things on it. And I said, you realize I have to buy for Christmas and your birthday. Well, there's 2 things. Yeah, I'm not the only one buying for you. So he's been coming to me, you know, during the day. He'll think of something and he'll come upstairs. Mom, put this on the list. So he comes upstairs. Mom, put this on the list. And I said, okay, what is it? Coffee Crisp. And I was like, the candy bar? And he said, yeah. And I'm like, you want a candy bar? Well, like a box of them. And I said, because I can't get them here. I have to order them from like Amazon. Well, it turns out I did some searching. I can get them from here. So I'm not going to buy the child a case of chocolate bars. I can't afford his dental bills. So I'm going to go, we have a place called World Market, and they sell a lot of like overseas or out of the country type stuff. So like specific teas that you could get in England. They sell clotted cream. They have a lot of like candy and stuff from Scandinavian countries and that kind of stuff. I was just thinking, my daughter was asking me about stroopwafels. So if we go to World Market, I should get her some of those because our regular grocery stores don't carry them, but I'm pretty sure I can get them there, and she really likes those. So I can get his Coffee Crisp and get her some stroopwafels. Those will be like stocking stuffers or something, but I'm not buying him a case of candy. And then he comes up later and he says, Mom, I want Dominoes. And I was like, the game? Because I'm thinking to myself, do I have Dominoes? Like if he wants to learn how to play, do I have, you know, the game tucked away somewhere? I'm a big table gamer. Not only do I like my RPG games like Dungeons and Dragons, I love board games. So I have a ton of board games and we play that kind of stuff, and card games. I used to play Pinochle all the time with my mom and dad. And so I'm thinking to myself, you know, while he's saying that, trying to think to myself, do I have one, you know, a game shoved somewhere? And he's like, no, not the game, the pizza. And I was like, you want Domino's pizza for your birthday? He said, yeah, but also some Papa John's in case Domino's sucks. I was like, so that's what you want for your birthday dinner, is you want me to buy Domino's so you can try it, and then in case you don't like it, you want some Papa John's as backup. Yeah. Like, okay. He's such a goofball. Like, so I'm actually thinking maybe that'll be one of our excursions. We'll drive into town and find a Domino's and let him just buy a pizza, because I've had Domino's before, but I will admit it's been probably a good 15 years and they were not that great. So, you know, I'm like, I don't want to get your hopes up because I don't know how good they are. but I guess if you want some, sure. Okay, I was going to do 4s, but I think I'm going to do 3s first. Okay, so let me see. Okay. Let me make sure I'm doing 3s. Make sure I've got that in my brain so I don't start putting them on the wrong symbols. So I'm doing 3s. Hear that, brain? I'm doing 3s. Let me lay some of these down so hopefully that will cement it in my brain so I don't start putting them on the wrong symbol and then I have to pull a bunch of them off like I did last time. See, I started to lay those down on 4s. Nope, I want 3s. I'm doing little highlight sections. Okay. While I'm rambling to myself and trying to get my brain to remember that I'm doing 3s, what was I talking about? I think that was everything I was going to tell you guys for my life update. So then let's get into diamond painting stuff. So, what's been going on in my diamond painting life? First of all, you guys, I'm probably not going to get Mrs. Havisham done in time, which is a bummer. I mean, I'm not entering the Drills and Chills giveaway anyway, so I mean, as far as that, it doesn't really matter that I'm not going to get it done on the 31st. I just wanted to get it done for me personally so that I kind of had that project off my plate before November started. Not the end of the world, but I did quite a bit of diamond painting this week, but my arm has really been bothering me. My tennis elbow has been acting up, and even with my brace, I just have not been able to do as much as I wanted. So I even tried those sticky mats, you know, that you stick down, that you're supposed to like use as your drafting table, because part of the problem is I hold on to my tray and it's that claw motion that bothers my elbow. So I've tried, you know, I thought, well, I'll put it on the mat and that way it won't move around as much and I won't feel like I have to hold on to it. Yeah, that didn't work for me because I often usually pour out more drills than I need, and I don't know if my mat was just like super sticky, but I almost flung drills everywhere trying to get the tray off the sticky mat so that I could pour the drills that were still, you know, that color that I had left over back into the container. So that just didn't work for me. I may try and buy a different mat and see if it's less sticky and see if that works, but yeah, that I thought maybe that would make a difference and it didn't. And then, you guys, such a dork, made such a big mistake this week. I don't know what I was doing, but when I uploaded my video for my Wednesday video, I chose the wrong video file. So it was supposed to be my table tour, but I uploaded the same video that I already uploaded for Monday, which was an unboxing, I think. And thank goodness Ruth let me know, because I would never have known. You know, once you upload it, you can't really see the name of the file of the video, even as the person, you know, the creator, the person that runs the channel, whatever. I mean, I can go in and look at it, but didn't know I needed to, and I didn't catch that I had made that mistake. And so now, after hurriedly fixing all of that and deleting the wrong one and uploading the right one, it all worked out. It was fine. But I was like, I can't believe I made such a stupid mistake. And now every time I upload a video, I'm super paranoid about, is this the right film? Is this the right file? Let me make sure it's the right file name before I do anything with it. So this week was kind of crazy. What else? Let's see. Oh, you guys. So don't know if I'll get done with Miss Havisham, but I got to finish this one for my Big 10. My Distracted by Diamonds that I unboxed, I got to finish that one for my Big 10, which I still got to kit that one up. Haven't even started on that one. And then that leaves just one, but it's my big Heaven and Earth designs. And with DP for Bets going on in November, I don't know whether I will have time to get all of it done. Like, I like to think, you know, with all the holidays and everything, that I will have time to get everything done, but I don't know. And I'm trying to be upbeat about it, but my husband has been told by the local utility that hires the contractor that he works for that they will not be working. Well, initially it was the week of Christmas or the week of Thanksgiving, which, you know, fine. It's the holidays. I don't mind that he has those off. The bad part is then he doesn't get paid because they don't get any benefits. There's no holidays, there's no paid time off, there's no sick leave, none of that. So if he's not at work, he's not getting paid. So that kind of sucks, that it's forced time off that he doesn't get paid for. And then he came home Friday and said, well, now instead of just the week of Thanksgiving and the week of Christmas, now it's Christmas until New Year. So he's going to have 2 weeks off at Christmas, which again is not the end of the world, but not great. And usually when this happens, the utility is trying to get an okay to raise rates. So The contractors are not happy because, you know, having the week of Christmas off is not that big a deal, but now you're off the week after Christmas, and, you know, everybody's trying to pay off Christmas, and yeah, just not very happy. So, yeah. I mean, it'll be nice to have him home, so it's fine, but whatever. He and I were making a list of movies for our anniversary that we're going to have our little camp out in the living room. So we're going to go get like movie snacks. Ooh, that's another good idea for us to go World Market. There'll be some fun stuff we can get there for movie snacks. And then we were trying to make a list of like I'm just not a movie person. I don't enjoy going to the movie theater. I just don't. I mean, I like seeing the movie on the big screen, but I just don't like being around that many people and sitting all squished and paying the outrageous prices for their concessions. And I'd just rather watch stuff at home. So because I don't go to movies very often, there's always a bunch that I can pick from that I haven't seen. So we were making a list of stuff. What haven't we seen that we'd like to see? So we watched the Agatha Christie remakes. I think we watched Orient Express, but we haven't watched Death on the Nile. So I want to watch that one. And then I love Sandra Bullock. And that one where she's wearing the jumpsuit that has, who's in that one? Is it the guy from Magic Mike, Channing Tatum? Is that his name? I don't even know if that's the right movie. I don't know if that, I think that's who it is. And Brad Pitt is in it too. So that one looked really fun. I want to see that one. And I can't remember what other ones. I told my husband, no superhero movies. I'm not watching those. I kind of want to see the one with The Rock that just came out, but like the Avengers and all that. I have zero. Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. Could care less about any of those. No desire whatsoever to watch them. I'd rather watch like an Agatha Christie remake or something like that. Something that is suspenseful without being gory. I do not watch gory movies. My husband likes to watch really scary movies, and I'm like, nope, I can't do it. Movies like The Sixth Sense are about as scary as I can get. I don't like horror movies where they show a bunch of gore and stuff like that. So I don't watch those kind of movies. I'd rather be trying to figure out the mystery, which my son thinks is crazy because I listen to true crime, but I'm like, yeah, but they're not showing me all this stuff. They're just talking about it. That's different. And even then, on those true crime shows, they're not telling you all the gory details. They're just, giving you the kind of the basics of everything that happened. So it's different. Anyway, that was kind of a tangent. Okay, back to diamond painting. What was I talking about? Oh, I don't know if I'm going to finish my Big 10. Like, I'm pretty sure I'll finish this one. Pretty sure I can finish the Distracted by Diamonds one. They're both rounds. They'll go pretty quickly. But my Heaven and Earth design, in addition to being huge, is a square. And so I just don't know if I'm going to be able to get it finished, which will be a bummer because I really want to make that goal. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. So, and because we're so close to the end of the year, I am working on stuff for 2023 and just some things that, are kind of behind the scenes stuff that really, I don't want to say that you guys will never see. You'll see them. It's just that you see the finished product. You don't see the stuff that goes into it. So, for example, I've been working on, I want to kind of update my YouTube intro. I'm trying to update my logo because I just want to make some changes just to kind of make it fresh and new. And yeah, so that's what I've been working on. But I get overwhelmed by choices. So I use Canva for a lot of my stuff. And going in, they have a lot of templates and things that you can use. Like I went on to Etsy and looked for, do I want to pay someone to make me a new logo and do like a whole branding kind of kit? But quite honestly, half of what the people on Etsy sell is just Canva templates anyway. Well, so I just bit the bullet and paid for the Canva subscription because I'm talking to my husband about it. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. And he's like, well, I want to do this. And whatever it was he wanted, I don't even remember what it was. It was like $10 a month. And I'm like, well, just sign up for it. And he's like, well, right back at you. And I'm like, but it's me, so that's different. And he's like, yep, that's what I say. And I'm like, okay, you're right. Just bite the bullet. I mean, I've used Canva pretty consistently since I started my channel. And it's how I created my original logo and intro and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I've been using it for over a year and it's been working fine. Why not give myself access to some of the more fancy stuff, I guess. But then you go in and there's like, here's these 4,000 templates to choose from. And my brain just goes, ugh, I can't pick from that many. And plus, I think I was trying to make things too complicated. You know, there's a fine line between I want to make it look a little more professional, but then, you know, you don't want to make it look like anyone else's. And what do I want it to look like? And what appeals to me? And yeah, I could spend hours choosing a font. And then, you know, it's like, well, I got a whole lot accomplished today. And I didn't even choose a font at the end of that 4 hours. So yeah. Anyway, so I've been working on a lot of that kind of stuff. In addition to all of the other things, you know, to go along with the channel, I've been trying to figure out what do I want to set as goals for myself for next year for diamond painting. What kind of stuff do I want to do on the channel? You know, in addition to kind of updating the look of it, are there other things I want to do? Obviously, I don't want to do the exact same goals for next year that I did this year. That would be boring. I mean, some will be repeats, of course, but I don't want to repeat all of them because that would be boring. And, you know, now that I've been diamond painting a while, I want to try new things. Like, I want to try new stuff and challenge myself and kind of stretch, see what I can accomplish, that kind of thing. So, yeah, just kind of outlining things that I've wanted to do that I haven't gotten done so far, things that I'm thinking about that now that I'm a little more advanced, I want to try this, and just, you know, doing that kind of stuff and kind of jumping in. But I want to have a plan for it to go along with the channel. I've been updating my logbook. I know I keep talking about that. You guys, hopefully there is a video coming this week about that. I have to do a video about something else first, but then that will be that. And some of the behind the scenes stuff is just like equipment stuff. You know, I've been looking for a while now at a new camera and trying to decide whether I want to like put that on my Christmas list, and that's something I get that I can then use for filming. It's got its pros and cons over my current setup. I think I'm going to have to end up buying some additional things if I end up getting that camera, which makes it just that much more expensive. And I don't know if that's what I want to do, but then again, you know, my husband and I, we've talked about at some point having possibly multiple YouTube channels, you know, this one for my crafting, and then possibly one when we start our move to Canada, once we know, you know, what that date is going to be, kind of like the preparations and how we're doing things and what all it entails. And because I always find it interesting talking to people when, you know, my husband and I say, oh, we're moving to Canada. Oh, well, when are you leaving? Well, it's not that simple. We have to apply for permanent residency and you have to do all this stuff. And there's just people that don't have any idea how any of that works and what's involved. And so, yeah, we just thought it would be interesting to maybe do something along those lines about, you know, here's kind of the process and do's and don'ts, because countries are weird, man. Like, where was I reading? It's been a while ago now, but we were talking about, you know, how basically do we pack up our household and then moving it across the border. There are certain things that you can bring in duty free. Some things have a dollar limit, some things don't. And so anyway, one of the things, you cannot take a mattress into Canada. You can bring the bed frame, you can bring everything else, but you cannot bring a mattress. You have to purchase your mattress in Canada. Now, if you're in like an RV or something and you bring your RV in and then you leave with it, that's cool because it's not coming out anywhere. But I guess because of issues with like bed bugs and stuff, it's not allowed. So yeah, it just seems kind of crazy. And, you know, who knows what other weird rules are out there. We haven't really looked at everything specifically yet. So, yeah. Anyway, again, another tangent, you guys. I'm sorry, I keep getting off track here. But anyway, so, you know, the new vlogging camera, which I've been wanting it for a while, but it's just expensive and, yeah. I've had other things I wanted to spend money on, so that hasn't been a priority. And I'm still not convinced that I need to. I mean, the way I'm doing things works out fairly well. There's some things that I don't like, but I think at this point, if I upgrade, I'm going to have to not only upgrade my camera, I'm going to have to upgrade my video editing program, which means then I have to learn a new program, which takes time. And yeah, I just don't know if I want to take that much time away from my diamond painting. So we'll see. And in addition to kind of planning out stuff for next year, because I'm looking ahead, I do still have to finish out this year. I mean, I still have projects going on. DP for vets. I keep saying DP for pets. DP for vets starts on November 1st. So tomorrow I will have a video about that where I will have all of the official rules and regulations and all that good stuff so that everybody knows, you know, what's going on. I've done a couple of, well, I did one video about it already, kind of as a heads up so people could start ordering canvases and stuff. And I've mentioned it in several WIP chats, but tomorrow will be an actual video of here's what it is, you know, all the legal stuff I'm required to put on it, all that kind of thing, along with the entry form again. I've already got a bunch of people that have signed the entry form, but I figure there will be more once it officially opens, so I will be linking that as well so people can do that. And I'm excited for that. I can't wait to see. I've seen a couple of pictures on Instagram already of, sorry, that's my phone, of people's kits that they've picked out. There's some really cute ones, so I can't wait to see once everybody kind of starts working on them. I can't wait to see what they look like when they're finished. And truth be told, I'm anxious to get started on some of my projects. I feel like I've had them laying around forever, so being able to finally get them out and work them. And most of mine are smaller. I don't have a lot of big projects like I did with DP for pets. So yeah, excited to get my kind of smaller projects on the go and finish up a few things myself. Don't forget, I will be doing weekly giveaways thanks to some very generous people who provided items for that so that I can do that. So during my weekly WIP and chats in November, just like I did with DP for pets, I will be doing those weekly giveaways. So make sure that you don't miss those. Each one will have all the rules and regulations, and I'll tell you what you need to do. I'm likely going to do the same thing that I was doing before, where I just have you leave a comment, and I don't know what specifically those are going to look like yet, but I'll figure that out when I get there. What else? I think that's all I need to tell you about DP for vets. Oh, and I told you guys that I've mentioned several times that I'm updating my logbook. I'm actually finished updating it. It was just a matter of me kind of sitting down and having a conversation with my husband about what do I want to do? How do I want to approach this? And there's just so many factors I have to take into consideration because of our upcoming move and things like that. And some things that I want to do that I can't yet because we don't have a timeline for our move and things like that. So I apologize that I kind of keep teasing about it, but there will be a video hopefully this week where I will be sharing the logbook with you and what I'm going to be doing with it. And hopefully I will also probably during that video be talking about my plans for December. I have a project that I want to do in December. Last year I did an Advent project, and I know there's a lot of people doing Advent projects again. That's great. Just because we have so many things kind of up in the air, I didn't want to have to commit to a video every single day for the 24 days of Advent. I mean, I could, but and I'm going to want to be working on my Big 10 and all that other kind of stuff. And so I just thought, I just don't want to add that to my plate just yet, or at least this year. So I have a different idea, and I wanted to give you guys some hints during this video, but I can't figure out how to tell you what I'm doing without just coming out and tell you what I'm doing. And I'm not ready to do that yet. So just going to have to wait. Another teaser. But I am planning something for December, something that I'm going to be able to do because of some very generous people. So a big thank you to them. And yeah, be looking for the logbook video, and hopefully I'll be able to share the December plans then. And what else? Oh my goodness, you guys. So most of my crafting videos, my unboxings, that kind of stuff, I've done enough of them now that it's kind of, it's still a process. I don't want to say it's not a process, but I kind of have a handle on it. And so if things go wonky, I can, it's okay. I've made enough mistakes. I've figured out how to fix my mistakes. YouTube is encouraging everyone to make short videos. And I've seen some people doing some that I thought were fun. And so I thought, I'm going to try and make some of those. I've already made a couple of them, and they did pretty good. So I thought, well, I'll just try and do a couple more. Guys. So shorts videos can be up to a minute, but they recommend that they're shorter than that. And you can use music. I guess YouTube has like agreements with, I don't know, it must be like recording companies or whatever, like the companies, not the artists, to use music, but you can only use 15 seconds at a time. So if your video is longer than 15 seconds, you can't use it, which is fine. For the one that I've done two. One, I think I used music for, and the other one I talked, so I didn't need any other audio. But some of these I've just been trying to do really quick, like 10-15 second videos. I swear, shooting these 10-15 second videos take me longer than shooting these like WIP and chats and stuff, because I just can't seem to get a handle on my camera angle and how I want it to look. Or invariably, like I bump the camera or something goes wrong. And so I got to scrap the whole thing and start over. And it's just been a whole thing, you guys. Ugh. I did manage to get a couple of them filmed, so hopefully I will have a couple of those. I don't want to just put out a whole bunch of shorts to be putting out shorts, but some of them look kind of fun. So yeah, I'm just going to put out a couple and we'll see what happens. I hadn't done them before. They've been around for a while, but before they were kind of like their own category kind of thing. And it didn't link back to your channel. So like someone could see my short video and that was fine, but then they didn't really have any way to find me without literally going and searching, which is fine. Some people might, but as we all know, it's much easier to just go dook. And so now YouTube has started putting, or at least they've said they're going to be putting links back to your channel on your shorts. So if someone sees my shorts and they like it, ooh, that sounded way different in my head. If someone sees the shorts videos that I have made and like them, then they can click on my channel and find all the other videos I've made. Isn't that funny how, you know, when you're thinking about things and talking, suddenly you're like, ooh, that sounded way better in my head than it did when it came out of my mouth. Yeah, anyway, it's been a struggle to film them. But I do think I finally managed to get a couple of them done. I don't know whether they'll go anywhere or not. I've also seen some diamond painters who have made shorts videos that just don't get any traction whatsoever. So I don't know. I think sometimes YouTube is kind of it's just a big experiment. You know, you think you do something and you're like, oh, well, this one seemed to go well. Let me try this. And then that one goes horribly. And you're like, well, what did I do wrong? Why did this one do? And I don't know if there's any way that, I mean, I think that's why I try not to get bogged down in numbers too much, because I think if you follow the numbers too closely, then you miss the fact that sometimes there's just things that happen that there's no real accounting for. And, you know, sometimes it may just be something as simple as it's the weekend and people were out busy doing stuff. Like, I'm going to assume that this weekend people were busy doing Halloween stuff or getting ready for Halloween. Halloween falling on a Monday makes things weird. It's always weird when Halloween is on a Monday, because even if it had been on a Sunday, that would have been better, because then people could have gone out. You just go back to work on Monday. Everything's kind of back to normal. Having it on a Monday night, so now parents have to be out Monday night, taking their kids around and all that kind of stuff. And I wonder how many people are going to call in sick on Tuesday because they were out late trick-or-treating with their kids on Monday night. I don't miss those days. You know, I mean, I miss seeing cute kids in costumes, but I don't miss having to go out with my kids and trick-or-treat and all that kind of stuff. So, and we rarely have any trick-or-treaters at our house. We live at the end of a main street in our town, and we have older couples that live all around us. None of us really have, well, I don't think anybody has kids except for us. All their kids are grown. I mean, they have kids, but they're grown and out of the house. And I mean, mine's old enough to be out of the house. He just isn't yet because he's still in college, but nobody else around us. Like, we have some neighbors kind of catty corner back behind us that have, but none of the neighbors on our street have kids. So we just don't have trick-or-treaters. Like, I haven't bought candy for Halloween for probably the last 4 years at least. So yeah, just haven't needed it. I'm actually liking how the ABs look in there, so that's good. It's like a little highlight in there. Just makes her little cutie pie a little bit extra shiny, so that's good. Okay, so I filled in most of the fours. I'm going to get into her face if I get up there, and I think I want to finish this section over here before I do that, so I think I'm going to call that good there. Okay, let me zoom out so you guys can see what I did. So I finished her little leg here and this arm. You can kind of see the back foot right here, a little bit of her arm there, and I made good progress. I'm happy with that. How long did I blather for? Ooh, longer than usual. Okay. So, let me stop my timer because I'm talking now. I'm not working on this. This one's turning out pretty good and it's working out pretty quickly. So maybe if my Distracted by Diamonds goes this quickly, it'll be better. Although my Distracted by Diamonds is twice the size of this one. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll get some more diamond painting in. I just don't know. I want to finish Miss Havisham. I got to get that one done first. And then I can finish this one, move on to the Distracted by Diamonds. And yeah, hopefully my DP for vets won't, I'll have enough time in between other projects that I can continue working on these. We'll see. Cross your fingers for me. Anyway, that's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for hanging around to the end of the video. If you like this video before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. Give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.